Aloha, Mother Fathers. Welcome in another episode of the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast across all your favorite streaming platforms. Hopefully, TikTok will be around after this weekend. We'll see what happens.
That is a big deal, isn't it?
And it'd be kind of nice considering it's our most popular platform we have right now.
You want to go ahead and plug the TikTok right now? Right
Side Hustle Pod 216 on TikTok, 3,000 followers. We actually had our most successful, most viewed clip this past week, over 63,000 views on the video. So,
and on our Instagram page, same deal.
And on I think the YouTube page too. We've officially eclipsed over 500 followers on what is officially our 1-year anniversary show. You may notice some new signage in the background, a new logo for the show. Working on a theme for the show, some music. Our buddy Eli Moon is plugging away in the studio, going to give us some stuff to throw in. So we're excited for that. And get a year of doing this double A. Didn't think it was going to last more than a week.
No.
I know you said that. So.
No, I definitely said that. I said, who the hell wants to watch us talk about wrestling every week? Like nothing new happens.
But honestly, no, I've known this man sitting to my left, you're right, for the better part of over a decade now. And the drive and the will to better himself and to do amazing work is something that I haven't seen in very many people in my life. So I appreciate you, brother, for being here and taking this ride with me for the first year. Wanted to try and make you cry in the first 5 minutes of the show.
All right, that's enough compliments. He's okay. All right, so
yeah, that's if you're watching it for the first time right now, you need to understand something. And I've said this multiple times throughout our first year. Okay, this is the star of the show.
Thank you.
I am literally just here. Essentially, if I was wearing all black and had white letters on my front of my thing, it would say security, because it's pretty much all I do. I'm just the big dude that they put in front of a table, that kind of thing, or in this case, behind it.
Yeah.
He stands up and is still barely taller than me.
Hey, I can still fit the screen, goddammit. Let's go.
I'd be remiss, too, if I didn't bring up Pete. He's been kind of the anchor behind the scenes for us and really done a great job producing the show for the first full year now we've done this. We've been pretty lucky to be successful and alive. It has to do with him as well.
No,
so.
we're very lucky to have Pete. Like, all kidding aside, we're very lucky. Like this studio, and I think we've had 3 studio setups in the last year. Remember, we started in that corner over there.
We were at the table. We were doing the table mics and all that. We moved over to the green screen, and now obviously you see where we're at with this. We've been able to move all throughout this beautiful studio, the LPV studios here. And, I mean, honestly, just a fantastic job by Pete. I give him a lot of shit. He is the grandpa of the show, but he's such a great grandpa. He's the one that, you see him with the cane, and you remember when I see an old person with a cane, you want to kick it out from under him, but this time you want to help him across the street. So we appreciate Pete so much for what he's able to do.
Say he's a grandpa like he had a child when he was like 7 years old.
Like, what in the 1300s is this? What are you talking about? What?
Oh, man. All right, we got a packed show.
He's going to reinstitute prima nocta when we're done with this. What the fuck's going on?
All right, we got a packed show, and you, the viewers, the number one reason why we're all here is subscribers, as Kyle mentioned, 500 organic subscribers on YouTube. Earned subscribers. So
we appreciate
got that. And, of course, our sponsors as well. We're going to get to our sweet moment of the week brought to you by BA Sweeties in a moment. And we got Mike from State Farm in studio.
Excited. He's got his first match coming up this weekend for Exo Pro.
Yeah. So
you mentioned 18 months of work.
Unbelievable.
Can't wait to talk to him about that.
Yeah. So he'll be here live to tape in studio. He was live for us. Right here in studio. I brought this up on the internet. I wanted to see what people like on Facebook, so just close, personal friends. The story in WWE is all leading to can everybody put their personal differences aside to ensure that Roman Reigns does not win back a world title? Now, I didn't want to cap it off as, do you want Roman Reigns to win a world title ever again? I'm not going to say that. But this calendar year, we're going to talk about it. Do you want to see Roman Reigns win a world title in 2025? My answer is no. I don't know what Kyle's answer is, but we'll talk about it coming up. You brought up this story that we're going to talk about a little bit later about the other world champion.
Looking a little sautéed right now. Looking a little grilled.
Yeah.
We get to use some new kit term here. It's gonna be fun.
No, In case you forgot, there is another world champion
I did.
in WWE. I think we forgot, and I think WWE forgot.
I do.
And most importantly, I think the fans forgot. And I think it's impacting some things. Corey Graves.
We have some problems.
Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. And then Rapid Fire. How about that new AEW show? But that's all, folks.
And as soon as it was there, it was gone.
Let's go. Our sweet moment of the week is brought to you by BA Sweeties. We'll make this pretty quick, just like they did on Monday, because 2.5 hours of Monday Night Raw. It wasn't time to this main event with Damian Priest and Finn Balor started, I think, shortly after 10 o'clock. They did the injury angle with Finn Balor, which I thought was a little strange, but
imagine being on a stretcher and then just being able to get off and wrestle another half a match.
Yeah.
We're doing some things in WWE here that I have questions about.
Yeah, and we'll get to that
Yeah.
in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But about the runtime, a lot of people. Rebecca, I told you Rebecca called me right after the show. She was like, did I miss something? It was like 10:32. She called me. It's like, did I miss something?
My show wasn't long. It was 2 hours for the past, 3 months.
She didn't complain about, so she wasn't like upset that the show ended early, but it was more so of people who didn't know about the details of the Netflix deal were just confused because last week's show was 3 hours, pretty much on the nose. It was 3 hours. Raw this past fall was 2 hours, so okay, it's back to 3 hours. And then it ends at 10:30. Raw never ends at 10:30.
Well, welcome to the Netflix era, people. I mean, this is exactly what you're going to get. I mean, Triple H said in that press conference after the first one, he's like, it's probably somewhere in the middle between 2 and 3, depending on what the stories are. And if we need to go long, we'll go long. We'll go 3 hours. Maybe we'll go a little more. But if we don't, not every show is going to be the first episode. Where we have all these different spots and people need to be on the show and whatever it is, even though there's only 4 matches. But a lot of it's probably going to be more like this past week, where you see 2.5 hours in some change. They have a lot of flexibility with this. They still have internal clocks they want to keep when it comes to doing shows, and you want to make sure you get stuff in a timely fashion. And
you hear that, Penta? You
yeah,
hear that?
Fuck, dude. We'll talk
Stay
about
on
that
time.
Later. Yeah. I was never as excited and also kind of intrigued and slightly disappointed more than that. But I don't – the fact that people are surprised by this or they're upset or whatever it is, I mean, this is exactly what we knew was going to happen. The whole point of going to a streaming service was that you didn't have the restrictions of a TV or cable or whatever it is where you had to be out at a certain time or, we don't have to worry about a 9-minute run over because we can run as long as they are letting us. And there's going to be a lot of flexibility with this. Some weeks it may be 2 hours and 45 minutes. Some weeks it may only be 2 hours and 8 minutes. I don't know. I mean, they don't have a lot of, structure when it comes to, a certain time. It has to be 3 hours every week. It doesn't have to do that.
But what that tells me, though, to bring up Penta, we'll talk more about his debut coming up at Rapid Fire, but to talk about that situation, for those who don't know, apparently the rumblings backstage was that Penta went over. The match went over, and then his post-match promo went over, and they cut down some segments. And the first obvious thing is, wait a minute, if there are no time restrictions, per se, then why are segments being cut down? And the important reason, I think the writers, and I think Triple H, they know when they finished writing Raw, they knew, all right, this show should last 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
They don't want a situation where a 2.5 hour show suddenly becomes a 3 hour show because wrestlers suddenly don't need the discipline to stay within the time frame of the show.
You need to be able to still hit your cues and be able to follow through because at the end of the day, it is a show. It's not a on television show, but it is a TV show, episodic.
It's an arena event.
Yes, so you have to make sure whatever your internal clock is, you try to stick to it as closely as you can. You have things that happen and things. Now it's nice to have a little more flexibility, but at the end of the day, you wrote a TV show. You have an idea, like you just said, of how long it needs to be, when stuff needs to happen, all that stuff, and you have some flexibility, but you still want to keep that as close as you can. which is why, again, 2.5 hours. I mean, that's what they wanted. I think it was like 2:33 or something like that. But again, you get the extra 3 minutes. I mean, that's you get the ability to, okay, he did go a little long. We can still move some things around, cut a few things a little bit shorter that don't need to be maybe as long, and we can make this work to where we still keep it within our frame that we had when we spent hours putting the show together. So
You want a little bit of a difference before we move on to BA Sweeties here? So Raw got all of its stuff in, and it timed out 2.5 hours, right? Imagine a SmackDown this past week was 2.5 hours. Instead of stretching it out to 3 hours due to network time.
People at USA be pissed. They couldn't do it. They'd have to fill the other 28 minutes or whatever it was.
But the fans,
yeah,
all of a sudden,
yeah,
this segment's not running as long. Like
yeah.
It's a good thing. I got everything I needed. The matches didn't go an extra 5-10 minutes. The segments, we got what we needed for the segments. And oh man, look at the time. You know what I did, by the way, after the show on Monday? Okay, cool. Raw's done. Let me get out of Netflix, go over to YouTube TV, and go to the Monday Night Football playoff game.
That's the end.
Which is funny because, Mike from State Farm is a big Rams fan. He's going to be on in a few minutes. And complete beatdown.
Yeah.
Hey, WWE gave me a chance to watch the entire fourth quarter of the playoff game, and it was a blowout.
Well,
not their fault.
No.
But, hey, sweet moment of the week. Monday Night Raw, only 2.5 hours long. Not too long, not too short.
We already talked about this. I mean, that's a good time. I'm fine with it.
We're not going to get a situation where, Raw's done in 25 minutes.
No. They'll never go under 2 hours.
Oh, let me ask you one other thing, though, 'cause Rebecca did bring this point up. Do people in the arena, we got Raw coming here in Cleveland in a few weeks.
I got tickets.
I still have to buy my tickets.
Yeah.
Do people in the arena, if they expect a 3-hour show, and I think this is a short-term problem, I think this will change, but if they expect a 3-hour show and they only get a 2.5-hour show, will the people in the arena feel like they're cheated out of a good show?
You still get dark matches. You still get the stuff they taped before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because doors usually open, like an hour before the show, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is. They still have, like, the main event tapings or whatever the off-beaten third show is, or fourth, what I guess technically would be the fourth show with NXT. So you still get plenty of stuff throughout the evening, and it's an experience. And I think now, especially with this, you kind of just accept the fact, hey, it's going to be between 2 and 3 hours. I don't know how long that's going to be. On February 3rd, when they come after it's the Raw right after Royal Rumble.
That might be a longer show.
That might be a 2-hour, 45-minute, 3-hour show because you're going to have a lot of shit to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 Rumble winners, are they both from Raw? What's going to happen with that? I imagine both are going to make an appearance because it's Raw on Netflix. They're trying to blow it up. I mean, that's one of those shows where you expect to be there longer. But
speaking of Rumble, not to give a plug for our show next week.
Yeah.
We're picking Rumble winners next week.
I have no fucking idea who's winning either.
We're picking Rumble winners.
Well,
next week.
The men's one is starting to come into focus, but the women's, I have no fucking clue.
Women's is not in focus.
Who the fuck is gonna win the win? Help us, like if you know, because I have no idea, and there's no story right now because we just got 2 new champions, and Nia's going to Raw and doing shit now, and
Nia's technically the only one who is declared for the Rumble.
Well, yeah, which whatever, fuck. I mean, NXT has I'm actually more interested in the NXT women's division. I think so is Bayley than the main rosters for now, because we talked last week about Liv kind of getting booked out of this title picture, which is stupid, and then her appearance on Raw was short. But I mean, and now apparently she's just going to be like dominating Dom, which is not something I necessarily needed to see. But I mean,
I kind of want to see that.
I bet you do. You Satanist. But I mean, like this,
I want to see that.
I just don't. There's like 8 to 10 girls on the NXT roster now that I'd rather see than anyone on the main roster outside of like Rhea.
I'll put it to you this way: while we were waiting for Corey Graves to show up on NXT, I wasn't mad at what I was seeing. I'll just say that I was not upset with what I was seeing.
There is all jokes aside, there's a shit ton of talent down there.
Man,
like Roxanne wasn't fucking around when she said this is the best women's division in W. I'd say honestly the best women's division in wrestling right now, and
still the most dangerous parking lot.
Yeah, you can't walk back there if you're at Full Sail and you're going to back. Ooh, run.
Monday Night Raw, Netflix, our sweet moment of the week, and again our sweet moment of the week brought to you by BA Sweeties. Now you may think it is the middle of January. Why, oh why, would I need to go all the way out in the snow to go to BA Sweeties.
How much do you love your significant other? Valentine's Day is less than a month away. Get some shit together, man. Listen, candy don't go bad in a month. You can be prepared. I know, hey, Christmas just came around the corner. If you're like us, you bought your gifts on like the 23rd. You know, like you waited till the last minute. You're wrapping shit on Christmas Eve. You're like, oh my God. Do yourself a favor and get ahead of the game ahead of Valentine's Day. It's an important holiday for Double A too, of course. He's an engaged man. Me and myself too. It's an important day. You want to make sure you prepare for that. The new Captain America movie's coming out.
Yeah.
So you can have a huge date night. You can do a whole thing. It's going to be great. Anthony Mackie, one of my favorite actors. Awesome to watch that movie. Like, be prepared. These guys can help you be prepared for this coming up. It's a big day, especially what you mentioned, the cold, the snow. Let's be honest, guys. It's been shitty out here in Northeast Ohio for a while. Like, this is a chance.
I think today is the coldest day of the year so far.
Yeah, stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Mother Nature. Like,
I
this
know.
is, by all means, like, take advantage of this. You know, hey, 75 years this year. It's fantastic to see what they've done over the course of nearly a century, essentially, in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, we're going to meet with Tom next week.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about what his new plans are for year number 75.
They've been in the lab. They're cooking up some stuff. We're excited to see it. Obviously, we'll probably have some things on the show for you to check out, too. And, I mean, it's that time of year, man. And then right after Valentine's Day, a couple months down the road, it's Easter. I mean, it's these big holidays that usually revolve around sweets and candy and getting together with family and having all this stuff. I mean, it's a perfect time to take advantage of what they got going on down at BA Sweeties.
Mike from State Farm is coming up in just a moment. But first, check out what you can see for yourself at BA Sweeties.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Side Hustle Wrestling
I thought we were
Podcast.
doing a countdown.
He just said we're rolling.
He said he was going to do a countdown.
Now he's doing fingers behind the screen like we look that direction. We're not.
Yeah, of course. Pete, what are we doing? Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
Fucking after we start a count. Oh, my God. Pete can count to 3, people. Congratulations. There we go. Fuck.
You want to start this now?
I
You
do.
got an extra person on the screen now. You want to start this?
We have a fantastic guest in studio again. He's joining us once again here on the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Couple days ahead of the first ever match of his professional wrestling career.
Unbelievable.
Also the best State Farm agent in Northeast Ohio, Mike Fabert.
Hello.
Welcome in,
Greetings
brother.
once again. Good to see you guys again.
Oh, man, it's great to see you, brother. You're looking big.
I was going to say.
We're gonna
do
start
not
that?
let
All right.
your eyes deceive you. This man is kind of buff right now.
the pecs do bounce now a little
There you
bit.
go. All right.
I got a compliment from EC3 on the trap. So yes, I've been putting in some work. I mean, if you're gonna put me in a wrestling match, I should try to look like one.
Dude, 100%. We've seen the Facebook stories. I've seen you on Instagram too, going to work.
Yeah,
Everything's
definitely.
ready, man. You've been training your ass off for this. It's gonna be fun.
I spend a lot of time in the gym. A lot more than I used to prior to training, and now I kind of live there, but it's fun. I feel better too. Like, so that's a plug for just staying fit, but it's been some work. Definitely grinding.
It's amazing the side quests you find when you're on a goal towards something. You see like other benefits of other things when you're motivated to do something. I think that's like the grander scheme you mentioned, just feeling better. I mean, achieving a dream, doing this. Obviously, this coming Saturday, I begin again over at the Tree Lawn for XO Pro. But then on the side note of just kind of feeling yourself kind of turn a corner with your life and feeling healthy, I mean, is an added bonus.
I was talking to somebody about it today at the office. As a matter of fact, it's just like I wake up a little bit more energized. I'm a pretty energetic person to begin with.
What? No, you're
yeah,
not.
I know, right? I'm
Yeah,
already.
like the shell, you know?
Yeah.
I'm already on
So
like
reserved.
level 10 to start my days, anyways. But I wake up a lot more refreshed. I feel better at work. I feel a little bit more focused. So. I mean, for what that's worth, it's a good thing. I'm not complaining about that either. So
let's go all the way back because the story is incredible. And we have people who watch who they know who you are. They see your ads every week. They go to your office. But there's some new viewers that's tuning in. You're a State Farm agent.
I am,
That
yes.
decided to train for professional wrestling. What was the motivation behind it? Where did this all start?
Yeah.
And you say you're enjoying this, but where did this all? What's the why behind all of this?
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, the start of it, this was not my intentions. I did not intend to wind up as a 40-year-old professional wrestler. I sponsored my friends. I've known EC3 and the guys that are running Exo Pro. I've known them for 20 plus years. We used to backyard wrestle together and stuff. So high school, all that fun jazz. And signed on as the, it's not a shoot or it's a shoot or whatever. It's real. Like I was the original sponsor. I signed on, gave him the check, and then I'm minding my own business one Saturday morning, get an unsolicited text from EC3 saying, hey, I got an idea. We're going to, have sponsor this battle royal. We'll get one of those fake checks, whole blah, 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 and it's going to lead you in a match in a few months, which obviously turned into a year and a half. But nevertheless, I mean, like it was just like okay. And then it turned into not just we're going to put you in a match, but more like let's do something. So I did the training, signed up for the co-op, and 6 months of some pretty intense stuff, and the end result is I'm booked to wrestle Brandon Beretta of all people. So, but and the motivation, the why, since you did ask that, part of it is, I'm not going to say it's not semi-selfish, a dream I always had. I've always been a pro wrestling fan. Loved it since I was a kid, loved it as an adult, still can't stay away from it. But part of it is just like I love being an inspiration and like motivating people. It's what is kind of my thing in the professional world. I like being a motivator, I like helping people. I like being a beacon of hope sometimes for people. And I feel like stepping foot in a ring as a insurance agent who really is an insurance agent who happens to now be pro wrestling on the side at 40, when all the many of things that have been stacked up against me that would put me in a position to not be in this role and be in this spot have been there, and I've gotten over that. I want to be that person that can motivate maybe that 8-year-old or even that 29-year-old in the crowd that's like, I've always wanted to do this. Maybe there's an opportunity, because there is.
Maybe a 32-year-old that should get into announcing at some point.
Or
managing.
I thought
or...
she was talking about getting in the ring. No.
I would love to see that. I'm still. No, I'm just
kidding.
Hey, him and Pastor Steelo will be fantastic. We need to see that.
You're going to be challenged into the computer.
But hey, I mean, like I said, the thing out of it is that anything's possible. Not to steal the old Kevin Garnett scream after winning the NBA Finals, but like, it's true, anything's possible if you put your mind to something and put the effort in. Like, I don't want to cuss because I'm representing here.
Dude,
but
this is a safe space.
I know, but if I would have half rear-ended it, like, I wouldn't be in this position. If I would have just went and tried to get through training to survive it, and I'm going to get a match, like, I wanted to go into it, like, I needed to earn my spot. I needed to earn this right. If I'm going to get something, I want to earn it. And they did not go easy on me in training. I've known them for too long for them to do so. There was one day late since I've been here, late in the training, where they're like, what do you need to work on? I'm like, what do you name it? And so they're like, and I'm like, just taking moves and getting familiar with some stuff. And so then he lined up like 5 people, and EC3 is like, all right, dealer's choice, just start, one by one, knocking out moves. I took like 30 straight moves, including AAs, brain busters, and then he's like, you're done. I like sort of casually roll out of the ring, like, thank God. Like, I was hurting so bad.
Goodness.
But that's they weren't going easy on me. They did not make this. I wasn't getting special preferential treatment because I'm a sponsor of their friends. Like, I got the class that I signed up for, and that's why I'm ready to step in the ring with, of all people, I said, Brandon Beretta.
In some independent
Strictly
promotions,
Brandon Beretta, sorry.
Yeah, be nice to him.
He's gonna yell at me.
Yeah, well,
or kill me.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But in some independent promotions, and I know that I trained for a little bit in one of them locally and stuff too, it kind of felt like, okay, train for a little bit, maybe we'll get you a match, something like that. Does it feel a little more rewarding to put so much work in? Because I know some guys that pop in, they only train for a few months and they're already on a card, or they're wrestling for a title in the promotion or whatever it is, and you've really had to really commit. You mentioned obviously going full head over heels into this thing to now have this moment coming up with all the hard work you've put in against someone who's really established in the independent scene, not only in Northeast Ohio, but obviously across the country. NWA, he's all a part of it.
He was voted the top wrestler in St. Louis,
which is nuts.
So,
the history in St. Louis is insane.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's in that category, in that echelon, I mean, to be in a spot with strictly business too. I mean, I'd imagine it's kind of like a nice little check mark in your head, like, wow, I really put in all this work, and it's coming to fruition now in this match.
Yeah, there's a big difference between, like I said, the initial pitch to me was like, we're gonna put you in a storyline and put you in a match, and it went from that to like, well, we'll see, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna sign up and do what I need to do if the opportunity presents itself. Because even when last time I was here, when talking to you guys, it was, we would talk like, is it gonna happen? I'm like, I mean, maybe. Like, it's not up to me. Like, I'm gonna put in the work. If they feel that I'm worth the time and the effort, then I'll get the shot. And I'll be honest, through a lot of training, I didn't know if it would ever happen because, like I said, these are not, like, this isn't, and I also recognize the importance of this too, because this isn't some bogus independent promotion. Like, this is affiliated to the NWA. This is affiliated with Billy Corgan. This is EC3, and, not currently, but an NWA heavyweight champion. This is not like tiddlywinks BS. Like, this is a legit promotion making waves that somehow I've landed a spot in, and I don't, like I said, I don't take that lightly, because I'm at the prefaces, I'm at the shows, I'm in the locker room, I see the people who want to be on these shows, who are dedicated to this craft, who are trying to make it somewhere in this. And like I said, truth be told, like, I'm not expecting to be wrestling at NWA anytime soon. I'm not like, that was never my intentions from this. It was to, an opportunity was there, I was going to run with it, see what I could do. I'm seeing what I can do with it. I get an outrageous test to start, but I'm up for it. I do feel that I've earned it. I feel like because that was big for me. I needed to feel like I earned this position on the show. The match with Pastor CeeLo could happen one day, and that was supposed to happen because it was a storyline that was built that way, and they could just do it just to do it. I didn't have to really earn that. They put that right out there. This is truly earned. I didn't expect nor anticipate this type of match. I would have expected to be, not with someone that they have, literal championship aspirations for. And like I said, voted best wrestler in St. Louis. Like, I seen that. I'm like, oh, good. Best wrestler in St. Louis versus an insurance agent. That what could possibly go wrong? No one is buying tickets thinking I'm winning this match. But you never know. That's the joy and beauty of this industry. So
Really is.
Instead, the VIP is completely sold out.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even get VIP seats, and the seats inside the house on Saturday almost completely sold out as well. I got to imagine, Mike, just telling your friends and family, like, I'm going to wrestle. Like, what? Yeah, I'm going to wrestle. What? Like, I don't know. Could they believe it? Like,
No.
I'm not talking to EC3. I'm talking about, like, your immediate family, the closest of the closest. Like, could they believe it? Like, you're going to be in the ring Saturday.
No, I think at first it was very much like okay, Mike, sure. And then, I went through the training, and then people saw that I was dedicated to it. And then my friends started to take notice. They're like, is this really going to happen? I'm like, I'm working towards it. I hope it happens. And then, you get the announcement, and then it's just like, wait, you really are going to do this? Are you sure this is a good idea? No, it's probably not. But, but I mean, because again, I would be lying, and I'm sure Beretta knows this. I've had back issues in my life, so like, I'm not nearly in the shape that I would love to be in. I mean, I'm definitely in the best shape I've been in a long time, but I still am not quite where I'd like to be, and it's just at the age that I am. Like, this is surprising to many. So, but like I said, I take a lot of pride in that, because I like to defy odds, and I like to be that person. So
He's just missing starting a yoga channel, and he's
No,
all
I was
set.
going to say,
Yeah.
so my follow-up real quick then. All right, let's say strictly business. He's targeting that back. Like, he's going in, he's targeting. Are you going to – you don't have to give away secrets, but are you going to rely on the fans to kind of bring you the juice, work your way back in? Because you might need them on Saturday.
I'm going to need the support. But I'll tell you, like I said, just the fact that, like I said, I'm in this position, something that I never imagined, something that I've dreamt of many times. I'd be lying to you if I haven't ran through this moment thousands, hundreds of thousands of times over my life. Not, of course, knowing that this moment would ever come, but to think that I haven't thought of myself in that vein is insane. I have. So yeah, I mean, the motivation's there, the juice will be flowing regardless. The crowd's gonna be big, but I also have the training now. And I'm not nearly as experienced as he is, but I mean, I trained for 6 months alongside of some bad dudes. I was watching. I took a lot of things away. I know what I need to do. I know what the mission is. I know he knows what the mission is. But he's got a lot more to lose than I do.
That's a way to look at it too.
That's a strong way to look at it.
To talk about building that career up, man. He's put in so much work to get to where he's at now. You mentioned obviously the accolades, whatever it is, on the radar for a championship opportunity. I'd imagine. Yeah. At some point, not only in Exo Pro but in the NWA as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. I know you talked about maybe not. It's not the goal to wrestle for NWA, so to speak, or whatever it is. But if you could win this match,
yeah,
man, he disrespected you on the last show. He just walked right past you.
He bumped you, walked through.
You, complete disrespect.
and I think that's because he's looking at this from one perspective, and I get his perspective. He's looking at me as I don't belong, right? Like, I mean, just be honest. And you could make a very, very valid case that I don't. Counterpoint, I put the work in, and I found a spot that I do belong in. And like I said, he's got a lot more to lose than I do. If he wins, he was expected to. If I lose, I was expected to. If it goes the other way, that's not what was expected to have happen. He's being, his whole strictly business mantra and everything he's trying to accomplish, winning matches, compiling wins. If he doesn't win, he didn't lose to, one of the other faces of Exodus Pro. He lost to the sponsor of Exodus Pro. That's a huge hit.
That's bad.
I could end his career at NWA before it even starts.
Oh, man.
And I'm not necessarily, that's not my goal is to hurt his career, but I'm making a legit run at this since I'm getting the opportunity. So if I got to do what I got to do, but I also realize who I'm going up against. He's not me. I'm going up against a legit competitor. So there's been a lot of work, and I know this is going to be tough, but I'm excited.
The strategy for this match, it's tough because you're facing someone who's very well-rounded and kind of do a lot of things. And he does, I'm sure, have an internal clock in his head where if this match goes over this amount of time, I failed.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine he's coming out of the gates pretty hard.
Yes, that's my expectation. I've thought long and hard about strategy with this. I've talked to some people. I was training with one of the other guys. I even, kind of a enemy of my enemy is a friend situation. I was training with somebody who I probably would not normally be training with, but I needed to because I needed to think a different way about this. So I know he's going to come out the gate strong. I know he's going to want to finish this quick because he needs to. Look who he's going up against. Like, if he can't polish me off in a minute and change, that's not going to look good. He can win this match and still not win this match. So my defense in this is I'm going to try to elongate this match to the best of my ability. I'm going to do anything it takes. I'm going to pull out all the stops. I'm not going into this without a plan. I always have a plan. They don't always work as they didn't with Pastor CeeLo and stuff, but I do have a plan.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be great.
That's why you're an insurance agent.
Yeah, we got to have a plan.
Yeah, I run a business.
Hold up. What is your plan if this doesn't go well? You are an insurance agent.
Well,
what is your plan?
I'm not gonna tell you that I didn't buy some additional disability insurance, some short-term disability insurance, and I definitely I increased my life insurance. He made that comment, and I wasn't gonna respond to that online and say that I did, but I did. Yeah, I got a little extra life insurance on the off chance this goes horribly wrong.
You gotta look out for yourself.
And I bought some additional disability insurance for myself, of course. Should this go sort of wrong, if I can't show up to work for a while after the hopefully not, but the potential beatdown that I might be encountering this weekend.
I imagine you're expecting some punishment. I would think that's.
I am.
When you face someone like strictly business, you're gonna be getting some sort of clinic put on you, no matter if you're the top of the card or the lowest guy in the card. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's that good where you're going to get some, but trying to pick your spots, I'm sure, is key.
Everything in that ring hurts. I mean, that's just the reality.
Fuck,
everything in that ring does not feel good. It's all rough. But like I said, I know what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to exploit a lot of that. He's going to try to bring that pain early. And my goal is to, like I said, try to find some ways to catch him slipping. He doesn't think that I know what I'm doing. So I have to find ways to catch him thinking that and show him that I do. That's my plan.
All right, let's talk about the rest of the card because, Mike, this card on Saturday.
Insane.
crazy. We checked the Instagram, the Exodus Pro Wrestling Instagram. I sent Kyle the card, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
like, let's go.
It's loaded.
Pretty loaded card.
To be on this card is mind-boggling because it's loaded. It's easy to say this because our shows have been building up so well, but this is probably our biggest show yet. Like, this card is loaded. And that's even without EC3 on it, and that's still a loaded card.
Yeah, projected to make an appearance, but he's not
Yes.
technically wrestling. He actually gave his blessing to 3 others to take on
Yep.
Richard Holiday and TME in that
Oh,
tag team
man.
match. That's going to be fun. Main event's going to be great, seeing if Dante Casanova can right the wrong from a few months ago. And
I have a rooting interest in that match, as you can imagine. CeeLo and PB Smooth have not been my 2 favorite human beings at Exodus, but yeah, that's huge. I'm looking forward to seeing Tiffany defend again. That's gonna be
big time.
Yeah, and with Paige coming in to wrestle her, that's gonna be a good match.
she's come off an injury, too. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
she was
she is
at
fresh
the
on the
commentary desk at the last show.
Yeah,
and
so
she's
I
gonna
think
be in the ring.
one of her first matches back, her first match back from that injury. That's going to be important. I mean, that's huge.
Slime balls and our mega powers. So we've got a little bit of action there. That's gonna be fun.
If we weren't able to get you in the studio, Slime Balls was actually on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actually waiting in the dumpster outside.
I'm gonna have to get out of here quick. I should have thought to bring MBJ as backup or something like that for this one.
Like, wait a minute now. No, this card's going to be fantastic. Mike, I'm just going to say this. We love you. We just hope you're going to be okay. I mean, you're going to talk in a second here about what you do during your day job. Mondays, are you guys working Monday?
I'll be there. Yep.
We want you to be productive at work still.
He's
You know,
got
your
Sunday
clients-
to. You got Sunday to. Work
I
through
have a
and-
feeling he may need more than
Sunday's a big one for me too, as you guys probably know.
you're a Rams fan,
I'm a
right?
big
So,
Rams
yeah.
fan. So
Perfect day to sit down and do nothing and watch the Rams
yeah,
play. Yeah,
yes. Yeah, I was my wife jokingly was like, "You nervous for this weekend?" I'm like, "Yeah, the Rams are playing the Eagles." She's like, "You know what I meant?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know what you meant." But yeah, I'm nervous for that too, I guess. But yeah, it's a big weekend at the State Farm agent Mike household. So
Do you guys at the Rams organization have anybody who could work for the Browns organization front office? You don't have to answer that right now. I'm just saying, we're going through some stuff.
if you could make a call, that would be great.
I'm not that well connected, and leave my front office alone. They have built I could talk hours about this, so we won't do that. But I'm very, very proud of the Rams and that win, and just the city of LA and what they're going through. I have a lot of friends out there, so serious moment for a moment. But huge shout out to all my friends, and I even have some of them potentially. They haven't confirmed for sure. I think they're trying to surprise me potentially, but I have some friends that might be flying from LA for the show.
All right.
So
If
gives you
we
an
see a
idea
bunch of people
how-
dressed up in State Farm singlets, we know who's there for Mike.
Man,
I don't know they're coming that hard, but
come on.
it's going to be good stuff. But anyways,
they're gonna have State Farm gear like they go get off of eBay or something.
Yeah.
Amazon.
It's got to be somewhere.
It's gonna be.
It's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, it's something.
it can be acquired.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I know for you guys at the office, you guys located Lee and Mayfield over in Cleveland Heights. We were talking coming in. The snow is nuts, and sometimes the things are out of your control when you're driving and in traffic. Something may happen. Where do you and your team? Where do you guys step in case somebody out there is like, man, I need good insurance, a trusted insurance agent across the board, even if they're looking for, a house or anything like that. How can your team help?
A bunch of ways. One, I was in banking before this, so I have a lot of money knowledge. I pride myself on trying to help people with that kind of stuff. I like financial literacy and thinking about how things are supposed to work financially crosses over to insurance. So thinking through that stuff, same thing with the insurance side of things, thinking through liability and making sure that they're properly covered. Because again, you can slide, you can get in a car accident that really isn't your fault, but you're still liable for. And that's, getting people thinking about that kind of stuff, make sure they know how they should be covered is something that I'm really big on. And my team, myself, we pride ourselves greatly on that. And then obviously, God forbid something happens, you got to file a claim. We're around to help with that kind of stuff, get you in the right direction, and making sure that you are properly taken care of.
The life insurance thing is big for me too. I actually have a friend recently. His dad passed away unexpectedly, and he was insured.
Yeah.
And you're already in such a situation where you're caught off guard and it's someone you love and it's you can't imagine what the strain that puts on a family in that moment, and to be able to have that reassurance of no pun intended, of like, hey, I know that at least we're taken care of on this way, so that way we can really focus on this person and making sure that we can do everything we need to get our ducks in a row and all that. I mean, it's so crucial to have that.
Yeah, I say this a lot of times in meetings. I try to make it joking because at the end of the day, like, it's not the most fun conversation. It is very serious, but like, I'm not in the business of bringing people back to life, right? I can present you two options: no person and no money, or no person and money. And I know both of those options are not fun, but one of them is still way better. And being able to at least, like I said, prepare for that kind of stuff. God forbid it happens. Like, again, we hope it doesn't. No, we already know we would trade all the money in the world for the person that lost. Well, most people, maybe 99% of the people would. There's a joke there, sort of. But
I got it.
Right. But like like I said, the average person wants that person. But if that's not an option, like, money will help, because you are going to be grieving. Do you want to go? Like, I always tell people this in meetings too. Like, I'm an insurance agent and I sell life insurance. I talk to people about life insurance a lot. If my wife dies tomorrow, I'm not going to want to talk much about life insurance. I'm going to be going through some stuff. Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about is the hypothetical of someone dying, because I'm going through it.
Right.
So I'm going to need something to kind of make sure I can prevent myself from having those conversations. Money will do that, because I can hire somebody. I can grieve the way I need to grieve. I can figure out my life. And that's what people don't think about when they think in terms of life insurance.
And you don't want to worry about expenses. You don't worry about paying for the funeral costs.
Yeah.
The costs and expenses today are insane.
It's
to not have to worry about that and to be able to grieve properly instead of having that other extra burden on top of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's an uncomfortable conversation, but it's one that obviously you need to have.
Yeah.
And it could save people a lot of even more headache, and when they're already going through heartache.
Yeah,
essentially.
Another analogy I use: do you want your spouse, parent, significant other, anybody? Do you want a monthly reminder that you're gone? Because that's what's going to happen with all those bills, all the things that you might, like, if I'm talking to younger kids who maybe have loans with, that their parents co-signed for college. Your parents will get a monthly reminder that you're gone if you'd like, or you can have life insurance to prevent that from happening. And again, on the off chance that it happens, but it does. I mean, it's like, what are we up to? Like 17 people who have died in the wildfires, as an example. Like, sure, their intentions weren't to be gone anytime soon, but something that was not planned happens.
You can't control it, yeah.
Correct.
But what you can control is reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're in Northeast Ohio, and figuring out what the best plan is for you when you're going through any of this, or if you're thinking ahead of the game, you're just trying to get ahead of it too. I know we've had talks about that as well on our end. Like, hey, we're relatively young. I'm obviously significantly younger than AA, but still, it's nice to. And then we won't even talk about Pete, but like, still being able to have that plan in your head is so important.
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
think it's crucial.
It's easily overlooked because I joke when I leave sometimes, like, I lock the door so no one steals all the insurance, but because it's not you can't go steal all the insurance. It's not really there. But like, so it's a mystery to a lot of people, and a lot of people, I've had the conversation with people. Oh, it's a scam, blah blah blah. Like, it's not. If you know how to use it, and you know how to, and you're educated on how money works and how insurance works, none of this is a scam. It's meant to better you. It's to better your position. Stuff happens. If nothing happens, then great. You did pay for something for no official reason, but I'd rather be out a couple $1,000s over the next 30 years of my life than put that type of burden on my wife, my mom, my friends, my family, anybody. Right. So that's the thought process I have.
We're going to give you the final sales pitch for your match on Saturday here in a second, but for our viewers and audio listeners too, so we have the website listed at the bottom of the screen for our video viewers, but how can people reach out to you for insurance or I guess to see if you're okay after this match on Saturday?
Well, easiest way would be the website, www.myfabertagent, nice little play on words there, .com. Social media pages, State Farm Agent Mike Fabert on Facebook. And like I said, those will be good places to not only get a hold of us, but yes, make sure that I'm not in 14 pieces come Sunday
You're gonna
morning.
have like 100 voicemails,
Yeah,
and like half are gonna be for insurance. The other half would be like, "Hey man, just checking in. You good?"
Are you alive? Or the intentions are to be alive after Saturday night, but we shall see.
They're like, "Can I help you, sir?" No, can I help you?
No, for real though. Saturday is gonna be fun, but I'm not gonna boldly say I'm going in there to win because I'm gonna be honest. I'm going against an outrageous competitor, but I will sell this match with this joke. I have a joke. Would you guys like to hear my joke? Or do
You got to look into that camera. And
Yeah.
deliver.
that camera? All right,
Yes.
all right. So here's my joke. What do State Farm agent Mike and Strictly Business Brandon Beretta's undefeated streak at NWA Exodus Pro have in common?
What?
Come this Saturday night, they're both about to be over, man.
I'm walking off the set.
I probably could have done that without laughing because surely you realize that I'm.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
So we're gonna send that to EC3 and see.
No,
what he-
man.
I should have asked him if I had permission to use that
No,
first.
man.
But I figured he wouldn't mind.
I think you're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be okay. I may not win, but I will be okay. If nothing else, my sense of humor will hopefully still be intact because and that's partially why I wanted to finish with that because I'm going up against a guy who's strictly business. I'm a businessman myself, but I also realize that it can't always all be business. Sometimes you got to laugh a little bit, and hopefully that made some people laugh, but I hope people realize, as much of a joke as it was, I do intend to win the match.
Good.
18 months of Exodus Pro. I have never seen Strictly Business crack a smile.
No. No.
Never.
Is there a side quest in here too? Like, hey, you know what? We're gonna make him show some emotion in there.
I'm gonna get some emotion out of him.
Yeah.
That's my plan. I hope I don't.
I was going to say,
I hope
be
that
careful
doesn't
what your
backfire.
wish for.
I just hope it doesn't back. My goal is to make sure it doesn't backfire because he's a competitor, man. He's a beast. He is a bad dude. But like I said, as I said earlier, he has a lot more to lose in this situation than I do. So I need him to recognize that because that's how I'm going to try to get to him is get him in a position where he's kind of let that doubt creep in his mind, let that fear creep in his mind, and that's where I'm going to try to catch him off guard.
Yeah, well, Mike, tell you what, man. Best of luck. Obviously, we'll see you on Saturday, and we're gonna be in your corner, man. We're hoping for the best.
I appreciate you guys. You guys have been some of my favorite supporters and biggest supporters too. So I do appreciate you guys being in that crowd and cheering me on. Much respect. Thank you guys. So appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah, we'll be there for support after the match because you
Yeah.
may need it.
I was
I'll
gonna
bring the orange
jokingly.
slices.
I was gonna jokingly tell all my friends like, hey, if you guys want to hang out after the show, I'll come out for photos in gear. But you might have to go to the local hospital to get that
What is
photo.
the closest hospital to the tree lawn? Probably should
We
look that
gonna
up.
find out Saturday.
Yeah. If we have to make a hospital visit after 9 o'clock,
There'll
yeah, I
be
want to make sure
somebody
we're.
standing
Yeah,
by.
I sincerely hope that my photos of me after the match will not be in the ICU.
I think that's a
Oh,
a
man.
genuine hope. For all of us.
I'm laughing about it, but it is. At somewhere in this is the reality. And again, I'm facing a lot of this with humor because I don't know what else to do. I could either be terrified or I could go in there and be ready and be loose and limber. And
Yeah.
I'm choosing happy, loose, and limber.
Dude,
We'll see if
confidence
that
is king,
works.
and you're wearing the crown, buddy. We're excited to see what's going to happen. On
Let's
Saturday,
hope it all
so
works out.
You bet.
Thank you
buddy.
guys. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike
so
from
much.
State Farm is going to join. He's going to be part of the show. Begin again coming up January 18th on Saturday. We will be there for the live pre-show at 4:30. We'll be there in person.
Yeah.
Getting the table set and ready for his match and for the rest of the card.
Yeah, doors open at 5:05, so stop by and see us too. We'll be there till about 5:30ish or so. We're gonna run through half through the doors opening, and then obviously the show starts 6:05. So
And don't forget, if you can't be there in person, NWA's YouTube channel, National Wrestling Alliance.
Streaming.
We will be streaming live.
Mhm.
You'll be able to watch my debut live and in living color.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
oh God,
Live on. It's going to be live and it's going to be on demand.
Yes. So if
you're
you
going to
do,
be able to watch this back.
yeah. So if you do want to watch me die 3 days later for the third time, you can do that as well.
Oh man.
Or you might be watching me end Strictly Business's undefeated streak.
Let's go. That's what we're rooting for. Let's go.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Let's go. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back more to the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast in just a moment.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Where can you find all the action for Northeast Ohio high school sports?
Oh my goodness! Touchdown!
You gotta be kidding
Touchdown, Madison! Only on Chagrin Valley Conference TV.
We provide full coverage for your favorite schools all year long. From the mat to the field to the court, we have the best highlights and post-game one-on-ones.
We're coming back this year. Everyone on this team is hungry.
Me being a leader, if they see me perform at my best, if they see me with top energy, then this is going to push them. I want them to be at the top end.
Most just appreciate you and all you do for the CBC.
Catch it all on ChagrinValleyConference.com and at Chagrin Valley Conference TV on YouTube.
All right, back here, the interview with Mike was, again, fantastic. I can't believe every time, like, he's coming all the way from Cleveland Heights. We was just talking during the break. Like, no freeway access to Cleveland Heights.
Yeah.
But
It's quicker to get to Giordano's in Chicago than it is. That pizza out there is fantastic.
it is. Cleveland Heights is a great community, and actually, even though there's no freeway access, you could still easily find his office, again, on Lee Road. Mayfield Road, that corner. It's the same building as Starbucks. So warm up because it's really cold. Warm up with your coffee. Talk with your insurance. And I'm going to be honest, fans, even if you just sign up just to make sure he's okay, because I don't have a good feeling about this match on Saturday. I'm just going to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something to be said about someone who puts in the work that Mike does.
Mm-hmm.
If you held a gun to my head and told me to pick a winner, I'd pick Strictly Business, but I mean,
I don't need a gun for that.
Listen, I have faith in Mike. I mean, I have faith that he's going to be able to do something in that ring that's going to surprise us and shock us, and he'll hold his own to an extent. It's a lot to ask for someone in their first ever match to go into this situation with someone who's as accomplished as Brandon Beretta is. But that being said, I have a lot of faith in Mike and his ability to try and make this more difficult than he thinks it's going to be, that being Strictly Business.
And again, if you just heard a few minutes ago, we will be live. Kyle and I and our entire LPV Productions crew will be live.
We're bringing the crew. Grandpa's bringing his cane, folks.
He gonna kill you one day.
It's funny. My mom actually has a cane, so I might actually bring it and have Pete use it. You gotta stick to the gimmick, man. Come on, what are you doing?
4:30, we'll be on the air live Saturday afternoon.
Maybe you have something to hit me with. So it works out pretty well.
Live from Begin Again.
If you want to see us, obviously in person, listen, we're going to be live from 4:30 to a little bit after 5:30 there, gearing up for the show which is I'd say the biggest show of the year. I know it's still the beginning of January, middle of January, but still, I mean, the card is shaping out to be fantastic. But if you want to catch us, obviously doors open at 5:05. Feel free to stop by the table, say hello. We'll be set up somewhere in the arena. You may have to find us, but I plan on standing out. So by all means, feel free to say hi, give a high five. If you want to talk about the show a little bit, what got you into wrestling? We love talking to wrestling fans.
Yeah, that's honestly
Yeah.
that's the best part. Talking to wrestling fans, we're gonna obviously see families, of course. Too. That's
Maybe a couple guests on the show too before the doors open up. Try and get some last minute preparation, some ideas for some of the
trash
guys
talk.
and girls
Some
that
trash talk. I want some
Yeah.
trash talk.
Yeah.
I want some trash talk.
Yeah?
I want somebody to come on the show and say they go whoop their opponent's ass. That's what I want.
Okay.
I want that. I want them to go over
And
there.
I want that
say-
for you.
I don't want this whole like, oh, I respect my opponent. I want to go in there like, he ain't, and he go, or she ain't nothing, and they go,
So basically, you want Tiffany Nieves on the.
I kind
On
of
the
I kind of do. All right, we got to move here. All right, what we got here? This, Roman Reigns. So,
God.
I thought about this because Monday was the first time this idea kind of scared me.
Yeah, when they made it known that
Yeah.
they have their sights on something.
Uh-huh. So, I noticed a few things. I noticed when Paul Heyman came out to confront Cody last week and said, you know, Cody, you've done a great job, blah, 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 blah. Roman Reigns wants his championship back. There wasn't much of a pop. And then in my head, I'm just thinking to myself, oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
No, 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 no.
Blue raspberry mixed with color red. Oh yeah.
Woo. Brother.
Bust through that wall
Woo. Roman Reigns,
like the Kool-Aid man.
the tribal chief,
Of the
the
21st
OTC,
century.
the original tribal chief, the one and only tribal chief again. My answer is no to this question. We're going to hear from Kyle in like 3 seconds. Should Roman Reigns win a world title in 2025?
Not at WrestleMania. I don't know about later in the year. I
Well,
mean,
okay. We're WrestleMania.
no. And I honestly, this is the part where again the solo thing just threw me off because I guess he's coming back on SmackDown. Who the fuck knows what that's going to be like?
Coming up tomorrow. on
Yeah,
SmackDown.
yeah. He's making his return. I don't know what that entails or not, but I don't know what you do at this point with Roman. I mean, what's the match for Roman at Mania? He's going to be on the card, health permitting.
Cody again?
No, like nobody, and I mean this. Nobody wants to see that again. Nobody. And I would argue that a lot of people in the back probably don't want to see that again either.
I agree. However, they're setting the way things are setting up. Because we said this last week. Cody, if you took the Roman Reigns stuff out of it, Cody, I could present you with 4 or 5 different matches that Cody could be involved with at WrestleMania.
But he needs the
Singles.
but he needs the title.
With the championship. I can give you 5
Yes.
different matches.
Yes, Roman only has really one.
Roman just has one.
And if it's not The Rock, because hey, now or never, he's not getting any younger. The gray in the beard is getting grayer. All right, like we need to figure this out. And it's in Vegas, and it's a warm climate, and I know they're going to be inside anyway. It doesn't matter, but still, like it's one of those things where we need to get this done. We've talked about this now for what, the better part of almost a decade. Them having this match at some point.
Roman and Rock.
Yes, like there doesn't need to be this huge, crazy amount of build-up. The story's already there. They basically kind of wrote it last year, essentially, and throughout the years.
Well, the I want to call it what Drew McIntyre called it, the Uba Fuba.
He got his ukulele back.
Well, the idea we both had, Rock could have kept it. That would have been a setup right there from last week.
He should have put it on himself.
Just put it on himself.
But that leads me to believe that either, again, he's 20 steps ahead of everybody else. I mean, does he interfere? Does he show up in the Rumble? I don't know what in the hell they're doing with this, but Roman and Cody is not a thing that I don't even know if they would want to do that again. I know that they're talking about it now, as in Heyman said something about it, and Cody said, "Oh, it's about to happen at some point." Not at WrestleMania again.
It could happen. It could happen at a SummerSlam. It could happen.
But then again, you know what,
at
man?
another big pay-per-view.
At this point, I didn't think Cody was going to win back-to-back Rumbles. So I mean, and I don't know if that was. We'll never know if that was a pivot from Punk, if he was supposed to be really the winner of that match.
We
But-
don't know. Look,
Now there is the other. Roman does have another avenue. We talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people got pissed off about it. Like talk about the most viewed clip on our TikTok. It was me predicting Roman winning the World Heavyweight title from Gunther at some point, which he's in his own world of hurt. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I mean, Roman and Punk is the only other avenue because of that favor from Paul. I mean,
well, right now Roman does not have a championship for Punk to go
there's
after.
no reason for Punk to want to, and he's not on his last resort yet. He's not past the Rumble, past the Elimination Chamber. He still has avenues to get there. When Punk is out of ways to get to WrestleMania and in a type of main event match, that is when the favor needs to be installed. We assume that's going to be called upon at WrestleMania. We just don't know in what capacity. So I don't know. I mean, that's...
If the idea, because I will credit WWE with one thing, it is a loaded Royal Rumble match card on the men's side. It's pretty loaded. There's a lot of big names.
Yeah.
A lot of big names. Enough names to throw away my Dominic Mysterio winning the Rumble idea.
sorry,
I'm
buddy.
a tosser.
He'll
looking so forward.
He'll make a run.
No, I'm gonna move my Dom winning the Rumble.
You're like a year off.
No,
Maybe a
I'm-
couple of years off.
Never. I'm gonna move it to Money in the Bank. I'll move it there. I'll move it to Money in the Bank because he could at least win the Money in the Bank, and then even if Phil cash in, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But you got big names. So at least this is set up to the point of, will everyone come together to ensure that Roman Reigns does not win the Rumble?
No.
The seeds have been planted to where that could be the case.
I think everyone...
based on who's in with Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and a couple other guys.
Well, Seth's focused on Punk. He's not focused on Roman right
But
now.
the overall story, you're right, but the overall story is what McIntyre is trying to establish, is that while everybody has their own personal rivalries and stuff going on, maybe McIntyre has to be the silent hero and say, hey, the real enemy is Roman Reigns.
I wonder if...
Nobody wants to go back to Tribal Chief Roman Reigns ruling WWE again because, honestly, it throws away everything that happened back in Mania 40.
Is that a match you'd want to see?
What?
Roman and Drew? I know we got it
Not
once.
at WrestleMania, but at some point, yes.
I mean, that could be a thing. If Roman's not getting The Rock, Punk's going to be in a World Heavyweight title thing and Roman doesn't win the Rumble. I mean... What other avenues? And Drew's made it his mission, right? You just said it. He made it his mission that he wants to make sure Roman doesn't regain a championship. Kick him down. I mean,
that could be your non-title Roman Reigns match.
I mean, that could be a thing where, hey, we don't really have a spot for Roman because Rock can't work this WrestleMania, so, and Punk's in our head, whatever. Punk is in the World Heavyweight title picture with Rollins and those guys, and Cody's facing Owens or Orton or Cena or whoever the fuck it is, whoever wins the Rumble, essentially, probably. So, I mean...
Well, in my head, John Cena's not winning the Rumble. In my head, John Cena's winning the Chamber. In my head. And I'm just
More
envisioning...
dangerous match, I don't know.
Well, I'm just envisioning that he is the centerpiece of the Elimination Chamber promotion.
Well, they're building it up now.
They're building it up now.
Final appearance in Toronto. He's
Cena's going to be... And I like the story of, Cena not being able to fulfill his championship promise early on, and then he gets another crack at the Chamber, and then maybe he wins at the Chamber, and then falls short. He's in a championship match at Mania, but loses. Like, my idea, not to veer off, but we'll veer off for a hot second. My idea is that John Cena does not win the world title until his final match. And then but honestly, it's the World Heavyweight title because right now that is the secondary
But
title.
that's in December, and then you got the Rumble, and I don't know, man. That's late. I'd have him defend it for... If you're going to have Cena and you're going to have him full-time, so to speak, like, use it. Like, have him do the open challenge then. Maybe his thing is, okay, when I lose the title, then I'm done. But I would make his last match winning the championship, and then now he's immediately going to turn it. Like, that's...
Well,
That's such a played out fucking
Well,
storyline.
but I think with John it could work because it was established last week. John himself doesn't believe he'll ever win a championship again. Like, John's hanging on to the one storyline that, honestly, I don't think any of us really think about, which is the whole I haven't won a match in
8 years or whatever it is.
1,000 days or
It was like 2,200 days. It's a long time. It's
He's
been like
the only-
7-8 years since he won a singles match.
and nobody brings that up other than him.
He's won tag team matches since then.
Exactly. So, but he put the plan in as he himself has to believe that he could win a championship.
Well, a strong showing at the Rumble, and you mentioned maybe the Chamber. I mean, he can build himself up to that point. And he's got, 35 to 40 dates this year? He's only done one of them. So, I mean, he's...
Here's the ultimate problem with Roman Reigns in general.
Yeah.
There are several names that we would rather talk about than Roman Reigns.
The people in his own bloodline are going to talk about. Then.
That's why he should not win a championship, a world title at WrestleMania.
Who knows? Maybe it's someone from the bloodline will step up. Maybe we'll get that Jacob Fatu match. I have no idea what they're going to do with this. Again, that's part of the... I guess you could say it's the intrigue and the coolness of WWE because you don't know where they're going. But at the same point, it's nice to have a little bit of direction, and it feel like it got muddied up a little bit over the past few weeks.
So we got to move because we're a little short on time, but it's tough.
Let them get cooked.
Now,
looking like a filet mignon.
This is a definition of that promo that he had on Jey Uso.
Yeah,
it struck because, well, Jey Uso looked great. He sounded great. He was fantastic.
Don't tell that to Jake.
Or a style.
Yeah,
he was
hate
fantastic. Jay. But Gunther was talking about, he made a joke to Jey Uso about, the main event is just a catchphrase. I'm actually in the main event. Wait a minute. You're the top champion on Monday Night Raw. Where were you during the debut episode of Raw on Netflix?
He was in a promo package in the middle of it.
Where were you during these last few PLEs?
Mid card, opening match. A couple of me weren't even on.
In your championship defenses against Damian Priest, were you even the A-side player in those matches?
There are other stories around him that were getting built through that didn't really pertain. He was more of kind of he's the champion, but he's not really the main focus.
The only time he's been the main focus in his world championship run was his match against Randy Orton at the Berlin show. Because it was his home show.
Yeah, and Randy was using the King of the Ring stuff and everything like that, and you didn't really beat me, and yeah.
I think ever since...
You could even argue the Cody thing, too, a little bit. They made it very much like about those two, and it was the one-off, the fucking Saudi champion or the crown jewel.
That's fine.
But,
That's fine.
that affected him story-wise as far as his confidence, but I think what's affected him more than anything is the fact that he's the champion. I mean, and he's been kind of like a non-player at this point. When you think of the World Heavyweight Champion, I think of, like, Ric Flair. I think of, for better or worse, the Reign of Terror with Triple H. That dude dominated the show. Like, he was...
Everybody was gunning for Triple H.
Every hour, there was a Triple H reference. He was on the TV, and, like, you knew, like, that title meant a lot on that show. Batista had to go through 6 months of bullshit to get that title. Like, I mean, it meant so much. And even when Seth was champion, like, he made it feel important. Even though Cody and Roman had their thing, and we knew that was the number one story, Seth did everything he could to be in the highest possible spot and to get there and to make it count and make it feel important. And when I talked about this to you a little bit, Gunther is wrestling like a part-timer now who hasn't necessarily earned that right in WWE. He's a hell of a talent, one of the best wrestlers in the world, and his resume is long, even outside of WWE. But inside the promotion, besides a devil's number of an Intercontinental Championship reign, there isn't really, he hasn't earned that right yet to have a Cena or Roman schedule where he can take all these weeks and not show up and do whatever. And he's got to be there. If he's not on the show, he needs to demand it. Like, I need to be out there. Like, I'm the world fucking heavyweight champion. I need to be on the fucking show. Our debut on Netflix. This is the title that's going to be here. Cody already can't wrestle because he's in kayfabe injury, whatever it is. I need to be on the fucking show, not in a package. I need a segment out there. Set it up with Jay then. Do something. I don't know. Like, I need to be there. He's got to start demanding it because he's that damn good. And right now, he's not. He's kind of just taking whatever they're giving him, and he's falling backwards.
I have a theory.
An Austin Theory?
Jeez. I have a theory. I believe he lost his heat immediately after King of the Ring. Because you got to think, if you recall, the King of the Ring winner was the stipulation was you win King or Queen of the Ring, you got a championship opportunity at SummerSlam.
Which was months away.
2.5 months after. That's too long.
What are you wrestling for that? But you already have a title match, so what's the point? It's kind of like...
I thought Nia Jax was somewhat damaged by that stipulation, but Nia still hit her ceiling as a character, where she still had it in our... I think we share the same opinion. She had a pretty successful championship reign.
Wasn't bad.
And, and she's where she's at in the card. She's at her ceiling.
Yeah.
Gunther was the hottest mid-card act. You need hot mid-card acts cannot be taken away from television. And he was gone for most of the summer because Triple H didn't have a story for him.
I mean, he made the Intercontinental title feel really important.
The IC title felt like it was one of the cornerstones of Monday Night Raw, and he wrestled. And his loss to Sami Zayn, Gunther was not damaged at all in his loss to Sami Zayn at Mania. He was not damaged. It was Sami looked strong. Gunther basically, he overlooked Sami. He lost. He slipped up. He lost. It's like the Patriots. The 18-1 Patriots, they slipped up, they lost the championship at the end.
Yeah.
But they took him off television. And since he's been back from television, he has not had the same heat. He has not been the focal point of any story. And quite honestly, he's not that interesting. He really is.
The promo work has gotten worse. I mean, that's one thing. So you said that you liked that promo with him and Jay. I didn't. Like, I could do without it. Like,
I like Jey Uso's side of the promo. I didn't.
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, man. Like, he just doesn't really have it right now, and I think honestly, I think it is a lack of. This guy has built a career off of being present and being in the ring, and when you go weeks and weeks without doing stuff, I mean, it's hard to get in a rhythm, I'd imagine, especially when you have that groove that you like, and you can tell he likes to wrestle. He likes to be in there and be physical and do all these things, and. I don't know, man. I mean, I want IC title Gunther out of this World Heavyweight Championship run, and we're not getting it. And it's honestly leading me to think that title may not be around his waist come WrestleMania. I don't know what they're going to do.
Would not surprise me. I'm not calling it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know if Jay's winning that, buddy.
If Jay's winning that championship.
Also, what a way to just throw that bullshit out there. Because Jay's already going to be in the Rumble.
I know.
So what, you're going to have the World Heavyweight Champion in the Rumble now as one of the people that he could be, like, Jay's losing that match, which is unfortunate. They should have done Saturday night's main event after Rumble.
Yeah, it's
timing.
Dictate by the network.
See, people think we don't bitch about WWE at all. I've got some complaints. Speaking of which,
I love this photo,
dude.
I love it. Look at Vic. Look, everything's gonna be okay.
Vic's like, I finally have someone credible next to me, and then he's fucking gone. I have a very strong opinion about this. This is tough for me. Corey Graves.
Tough for him.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So Corey Graves has been like my favorite commentator for a while. I didn't see too much of his stuff wrestling just because he was early NXT and I didn't really watch a lot of that. So I only really know him in the arena of announcing. I don't know why that's funny, but okay.
No, Vic.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. Vic Joseph was so happy. He's like, you know what? I had to sit next to Booker T for so fucking long, dude. And if he's not cutting a promo on Zilla Fatu, it's not great. So I need someone good. And Corey comes down to NXT because he gets shunned from Raw and SmackDown, which again is bullshit in its own right. There's only one explanation for why any of this works. And if they don't have a match between Pat McAfee and Corey Graves at WrestleMania, who Corey Graves, by the way, has been cleared for multiple years to wrestle now. If they don't have a match, then what the fuck are we doing? You just signed the guy back in January of last year to a new contract extension for multiple years. We finally said they found someone that could replace Michael Cole. No, not Lo Tessitore over there on SmackDown, which is bullshit in its own right. The guy should be on fucking NXT with fucking Vic Joseph.
Hold on. Let me look at my notes. All right, our next segment. Let's take a look at Chelsea Green.
I fucking
Chelsea Green said this last week on SmackDown.
Can you Pete one shot me really quick for this? Corey Graves, man, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Whether it's listen, this could all be part of storyline, whatever it is. Personally, you're the best announcer in WWE. I know who works for the company. I know the guy you sat next to for Raw. You are the best announcer in the entire company right now. Sorry. Cole's getting a little cheesy. When he sits at the pack, he kind of loses himself a little bit. You are the best announcer. I'd love to see you wrestle. I don't know if that's part of the plan or not. But at the end of the day, we talk about someone that can make a difference in another company. Maybe Corey Graves should go to AEW. And maybe he should be the guy that makes them relevant. Get the guy with the fucking mask out of there, and you sit in that fucking chair. Because you deserve it. 10 years you put your work into this company. They don't want to respect you enough. Fuck them. Go get respect. Because you earned it. Best announcer, honestly, right now, I think maybe in the entire world, is Corey Graves. He proved that to me this past year when he dominated on SmackDown and made that show interesting. And then went to Raw and sucked it up and was color guy for Cole. Or when they were on SmackDown, he had to move out of whatever the role was. I forget. But he has made the most out of this, and he's damn good at his job. Whether he's being the heel color guy or whether he's actually running the fucking show, which he proved he could do, and do well, fuck him. If this is all real, who knows? But if it is, I hope it finds him. I hope somehow this finds him now so he can see this and hopefully get some motivation. If I can motivate you even a little bit to be like, you know what, fuck you guys. Like, because you should know your worth, man. You're fucking worth it.
Hey, Pete, can you give me the one shot? Hello, America.
God, eat a dick. Eat the biggest dick you can find.
This guy right here, could walk at AEW right now, be the #1 commentator, no questions asked.
He doesn't need to record a pre-tape. He can just walk in and he's automatically that guy.
He's just that guy.
It's just JR's too old.
I do feel bad for Corey, though. All right,
it's bullshit.
Yeah, I do.
It's
feel bad.
bullshit. How is he not at least leading SmackDown?
Uh,
Or fuck it, if you love Joe, put him with fucking Joe then and make him do color for Joe.
Well,
fuck it. Like, I mean, and let Joe flame out in a couple months.
Ultimately, I do believe that he's returning to the ring.
I hope so.
That's
the only reason
personally
this
believe
makes
he's
sense.
returning to the ring.
And I hope it's not like for long because
Mhm.
he needs to be in the booth. He's too good. Then again, it's Samantha Irvin. Passion wasn't, ring announcing. Best ring announcer we've seen. Maybe he said career adjacent. It wasn't his real passion. It was something he had to do, was forced to do. I don't fucking know. Just don't Nigel McGuinness this and go to AEW and wrestle. Like, don't do that.
Man.
Please don't.
All right, let's get to real quick rapid fire before we wrap. AEW Shockwave.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, little Sebastian.
There was actually a clip. We don't have time to play it, but there was actually a clip of Swerve. Thank you.
Tony Khan lets me do what the fuck I want.
He was like, hey, it's a
I bet.
SmackDown. Fox about to lose SmackDown. We about to get SmackDown. They forgot one thing. They forgot to keep their ratings up and attendance up and show quality.
Why do
up.
ratings matter? That's fucking why.
That's why.
Fox is like, fuck it. It's not worth the extra 400,000 people that maybe will watch it. Possibly. It's their third show. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Like, I mean,
I do think WWE should have went a little bit harder after MJF. I think he's the one guy. And again, he might have been priced out. Fine.
but there's still time with MJF.
I know there's still time. I'm thinking, SmackDown's 3 hours. He's the guy, like, hey, if you want a franchise player on SmackDown, MJF's that guy. And he could mix it up. Maybe he could have been feuding with Roman Reigns.
Well, him and Cody would have been fantastic.
That would be fantastic. We'll move to Karrion Kross thing the next week. Penta.
Yeah, I don't. There were some spots in the match where I could tell he worked for AEW. Just from a standpoint of just some of the botches and some things, which anytime you deal with someone who's a luchador, there's a lot of high-risk stuff, sometimes first rope stuff that doesn't look very clean, that kind of thing you expect it. He's got some rust. He hasn't wrestled in a little bit. I get that. But they're building him up as the next Ray. I'm more surprised at some point later in the show he didn't have a backstage interaction with Ray. I thought maybe that would happen.
Well, Ray talked to the international audience, so they had comments there.
Okay.
We don't get it here.
I'd
but
imagine at some point maybe that's a WrestleMania match for them or whatever it is, trying to find a way to get those two together.
I thought
but-
it was interesting. I'm like, it's a little out of form. I thought he should have had like a dominant first match against a weaker opponent. Obviously, not against Gable. You're facing Gable. That's the type of match you need to have.
Well,
But
they're billing it as like he's this great wrestler and he's gonna make waves, and you want to put him against someone that's gonna make him look really good too. And Gable sells better than.
he does.
Welcome to the new Dolph Ziggler, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, true.
Chad Gable is
Mhm.
filling that role. Which, hey, you know what? There may be a world title or two in there, so you never know.
Could be.
Better than Otis.
But remember,
How many
number
shows has
one-
he been on?
Number one lesson. Make sure you hit your cues. Actually, Pete's telling us that right now, so we got to go.
He's gonna hit me with that cane.
We got to go. Make sure you check everybody out. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. I told you I got the logo in on all the slides. Yeah, even that one.
Nice. Good job,
Did
buddy.
it.
Good job, buddy.
Did it.
I'm so proud of you.
Saturday, we're on live, 4:30 from Exodus Pro. Next week, Rumble predictions. And then in 2 weeks is actually my favorite show.
Is it the WrestleMania prediction
We're
show?
doing a full card.
God, that's so
We're doing a full fucking card.
We did that last year, and it did not work out very well at all. Like, we were both. I think Jay got the always positive. Jay had the best card.
Yeah,
He doesn't even watch wrestling.
He didn't even watch.
He doesn't watch since the '90s. He's like, fuck it, I'll give it a shot.
Speaking of always positive, Jay, Pete's going to set up Voice of the Land, which actually came on last night, but we tape on Wednesday, so they're on live 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we're done. So we'll see you guys on Saturday from Exodus Pro. Thank you again for your support. 1 year. 1 year we've been doing this. Thank you very much.
Here's the 5 more.
We'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye.
I just signed into a contract. He doesn't even know it. It's great.
Where's my contract? The hell's my stuff?